Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. Welcome to today's Masterclass. I am super excited that you're going to be joining me through this Masterclass. Today we're going to be looking at how to transition from the generalist to the expert, even if you've been using currently in your current niche, guys, the $100 per hour model or the $100 per session model for years and find yourself caught in oversaturated niches. So this masterclass really is the culmination of a lot of my expert strategies. So in the past, a lot of the webinars and masterclass that we've done have really been just the basics, which is how do I set up the business? How do I set up the systems? How do we use the input, process, output system? How do we start to define our niche? How do we get our first couple of clients at a very high price? So this masterclass, what you're going to find is more dedicated for that person, that therapist or a coach, anyone who has that type of business who is looking to grow and scale, maybe from the position where they are now. They're getting maybe a steady flow of income, getting a steady flow of clients, but are still stuck trying to scale. They're still stuck with, although it could be many at a time, low paying clients that are still maybe arguing their prices. You're stuck in those oversaturated niches where there's a lot of competition and you're still not viewed as like the go-to expert, the specialist in your niche. So this masterclass is going to show you the fastest way to transition, guys, from the generalist therapist to the expert. And like I said, this is a culmination of all my advanced strategies. And like I said, this is the advanced strategies that we show all of our students that are reaching upwards of 30 to 50,000, even a little bit more than that per month. This is how they have transitioned from the generalist therapist who maybe does like $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month to that expert, to become known as the go-to expert in that niche and basically dominating their competition. So I'm super excited about this. So like normal, let's dive straight in, guys. Make sure you've got a notepad and pen. We're going to move through this rather quickly, but I'm going to show you all of these advanced strategies and take you step by step of how you can employ these into your coaching and therapy business today. So if you're watching this, then I'm guessing that you've seen a few, if not many paid clients for a while now. So regardless whether you're a coach or a therapist, NLP, RTT, if you're in a place where you're starting to see a steady flow of income, maybe a steady flow of clients coming in into your practice, and you've been doing this for a while, this is the right place you need to be to go check out what we're going to be teaching you. And for many of you that are seeing those clients, whether it's just a couple of weeks or maybe a dozen a month, you're getting great results with these clients. You're saving them from their pain, you're saving them from their addictions, their problems, their blocks, and really any generalist problem that they're coming in with. However, you're stuck at the growth and scaling phase. You're stuck at the, okay, I'm seeing a steady flow of clients coming through each day, each week, and each month, but my income is not growing. If I want to grow my income, it means I'm going to have to see more clients, but I don't have time for more clients because the current clients I have are taking up far too much of my time. I'm not getting enough leads coming in. I'm not getting enough strategy calls. However, I do want to grow my business. If you're hearing this, it's probably the situation that you're in now, because it was definitely what I was many, many, many years ago. I came to a point when I wanted to grow my income as a hypnotherapist, but the issue was my timing. I didn't have enough extra time in the day to bring new clients in, but the only way to make more money was to bring in new clients. So if you find yourself stuck at that growth and scaling phase, I'm going to show you how we need to fix this. And however, like most will think, just like I did, that the way to scale is by actually getting more clients. It seems logical. More clients will equal more income. But to do this, I need to do more marketing. Maybe I need to invest into ClickFunnels or squeeze pages. Maybe I need to start to scale and pay for ads or pay for more ads, more social media. Maybe I need to join Twitter and Instagram and all these other platforms because I'm not doing those things. Maybe it's I need more certifications. I've heard that if you want to raise your prices and be seen as the expert, I need to have all these expert qualifications. However, maybe it's just in me. Maybe it's more mindset work. We get under this assumption that it's all about getting more. You think that the way to scale is by just doing more of everything. And look, you can grow and scale from what I'm about to show you today without actually any of those things. We don't have to use any of those things. We're not going to increase what we're doing. I'm going to show you how to take what you're doing now and become highly efficient with it. To do this, you just need the right person to walk you through this step by step to show you something way more efficient than the current model that you're using. Now, if you look at the traditional and therapy and coaching practices, we're all taught to run their business on like the session by session or the hourly rate. that if you want to get more clients, you've got to offer them more sessions. You've got to sell 5 packs and 10 packs and 20 packs, which ultimately leads to doing more work, but for not a lot more money. And this model has been around for decades, if not longer. It's quite interesting that this was the same model I heard about well over 15 years ago. It's that traditional model. They also say that you need to be highly qualified in every certification in order to call yourself an expert if you want to expect expert prices. So this is what the traditionalists in hypnotherapy and coaching are telling you what to do. This is the model that they run. But I'm here to tell you that this model is wrong. Things have drastically changed in our industry, and what worked 25 years ago and beyond is now flawed. And those that are not willing or will not adapt will be caught in this broken model, forever struggling to grow and scale their business. Now, the traditionalists have their reasons for thinking this way, and that's fine, but it doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean because this is what the tradition is that you have to keep following these set of rules. Think of everything that has changed by the way of marketing, social media, getting clients, costs of living. All of these things are increasing, whereas the traditional model of therapy and coaching and getting clients and running the business has basically remained stagnant. It's exactly the same framework that I was looking at 15 years ago and years before I even thought of becoming a hypnotherapist. But what's interesting now, people are still following that model. It's still being taught to this very day. It's become stagnant. Nothing has changed. Although on the outside of the coaching and therapy businesses, a lot of things have changed. So if you've ever wondered why clients are willing to pay upwards of $2,500 or up to $5,500, you've seen the testimonials that we have. You've seen students talk about this on our testimonial videos. You've heard results that we've been talking about. And you've ever wondered why? How on earth are they able to charge $2,500 to $5,500 for someone just to quit smoking, overcome anxiety, lose weight, find their perfect soulmate? We can basically do this in any niche when you're only charging a few $100s and probably getting a lot of arguments that you're still really expensive because you're using that old traditional model. And look, I know that if you're watching this, you have a dream of a faster growing practice. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. To impact more clients' lives. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. And to be known for what you do, become that go-to expert and receive all the accolades, the success, the income that comes with this specialist model. However, to do this, we must switch the model. If you want things to drastically change in your business, I want you to forget about what you've done in the past and what you're doing currently, especially through this masterclass. And I want you to become really open-minded because what I'm about to show you is going to go against all the traditional things you've been taught. So to do this, we have to switch your current model. We have to provide a higher value service with clients who are able, willing, and grateful for your expert prices and fees. But we have to break that old model. Imagine with this new model, you go from clients that are not willing to pay even $100 to overcome the biggest pain in their life that are now willing and able and happy to pay $2,500, $5,500 and pay you in full even before their first session. This is the model I'm going to be showing you guys. So look, my goal for today's masterclass, let me give you a quick overview. Number one, I'm going to show you how to add what I call the specialist frame to your entire business to pivot from generalist clients to clients looking for a specialist to solve their very specific problem. Number two, how to use what I call my PCF pricing model to begin saving your clients emotionally and financially that makes your specialist price between $1,500 all the way up to $5,500 seem extremely cheap. Lastly, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of my future value deck, which will educate your clients in just about 15 minutes on your entire business, how you can help them, your specialty, break down every objection possible, show unbeatable proof that you're the go-to expert, and add a powerful price comparison. And this is the reason why we have over 600 success stories. So guys, my students probably going to get a little bit angry that I'm showing this, but I think it's important. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of the future value deck. And this really is my best hidden secret. And it's the reason why you've seen all those tremendous testimonials that we have. And it's the reason why if you're struggling just to get $100 per client and you're wondering how our students are getting $5,500 per client to save the same problem in the same niche with the same type of category of client as you, this is how they're doing it. So guys, I didn't have enough time to make enough slides for all the testimonies that we have, but I just want to show you a couple based on what I'm showing you guys today. But this really is the culmination of the core strategies that we have, the core strategy that we use, and thanks to our future value deck as well. So as you can see here, we've got a couple, one of our students talking about, she done $11,000 in July, then a $23,000 August, and now just hit a $38,000 September, guys. Another student talking about $59,000 in the last 3 to 4, maybe 5 months. We got another student that started in May. She was making $11,000. June for her was $18,500, and then July was $22,500. Now moving into September, just the end of September when I'm recording this, she just did upwards of $43,000, guys, in 1 month. She's made well over $50,000, upwards of about $70,000 in about 5 to 6 months of working with us. Below that, we have a $40,000 month for an RTT business. And these are difference between RTT business, coaches, therapists, really just the same thing. And one of our students talking about in 12 months going from $0 to $187,000 in 12 months. Now, this is not possible with the old traditional model, guys. I really want to make that abundantly clear. The old model of sessions per hours and things, you cannot get to these type of income per month with that old model. The numbers just don't work. The time just doesn't work. So I'm going to show you how to fix all of this. Some more examples of a $43,000 month. That's $120,000 in 6 months. Another student's first $33,000 month. First week of March is $6,500. Another student who was having a bit of a joke saying, I was aiming for a $20,000 month, just a little bit shy, just under $16,000. Very happy with that. Another student's $24,000 month. Another student who made $98,000 in 4 months, where previously the 2 years before that, she was making about $700 a month. Again, this is the new model that she employed. One of our students, happy, cracked his first $20,000 month. Another student talking about she went from having $1,500 in her savings to about 2 months later having $38,000 in her savings based on what her business and her income was bringing. Another student talking about $95,000 in 3 months. Another student talking about when she started the program in February, she had minus $880 in her business in February, all the way now moving into July. July she did $13,600. August she did $21,000. So you can see she's growing her business between $5,000, $10,000, and $15,000 per month, guys. That's rapidly increasing. That's forever increasing the income in her business. And one of our students talking about $23,000 a month, which is awesome. So how did we do this? How do our students go from earning the zeros all the way up to being that specialist and having clients happy to pay their higher prices? Well, let me show you the frame of, guys, what you were or you're probably using right now, but what I was using in the past and the big switch that I made. So the switch I'm about to show you is what I had to do with my own business. That's why I'm giving it to you guys today. So in the past, as you guys are well aware, I was a stop smoking hypnotherapist, and this was basically my entire business model. I was convinced that I needed to sell the how, because that's what I thought needed to be done, meaning that when a potential client talked to me about wanting to quit smoking, I instantly went into what I call the explanation mode. I went into trying to sell hypnotherapy to people. I went into trying to explain to people what hypnotherapy was. I went into explain how the only way to quit smoking is via hypnotherapy. I had to overcome things like price objections, cheaper objections. I found that when I was talking about the how and the hypnotherapy thing, I was always getting the I need to ask my spouse objections. I was having to deal with will this work, the guarantees, the hypnotherapy objections. So what I'm pointing out here was when I was at a point in my business where it wasn't growing, I wasn't making a lot of money because I was just trying to sell people on the how. I was trying to sell people on hypnotherapy. And this is the thing I realized my clients did not care about. And this is the traditional model. We forget about talking about the most important thing, which I'll get to very soon, and we concentrate on selling the way that we do things, this thing we call hypnotherapy. And this little diagram here was my entire business model. So how it worked was I'd have the stop smoking. Okay, that was my niche. And the way I would sell people into this niche was just selling the hypnosis. And I was selling hypnotherapy for about $100 an hour. So I'd need my clients to come and see me for the average 2 to 3 sessions. So the most I would make is about $300. If my client quit in their first session, I'd only get $100. They needed to come back for 3 sessions. I was lucky enough to get that $300, but usually by then I'd give them a discount anyway. So I was forever just treating clients at a very low price. They'd come in for stop smoking. I'd try and sell them the hypnotherapy. Hopefully they'd say yes. If they did, I'd collect $100 and then I'd just repeat the process for the next person. $100, repeat the process. $100, repeat the process. $200, repeat the process. And I was forever just selling the wrong things, and I was forgetting about the only reason why clients come to see us in the first place. And every time I was trying to sell this thing called hypnotherapy, I was experiencing the price objections. The cheaper objections, always an excuse as to why, Scott, I'm going to go shop around, or I can't do this, maybe this isn't for me. And it was just dumbfounded why people didn't understand this hypnotherapy. They didn't understand the power of it. And it wasn't until I stepped back and realized the wrong things I was doing. And let me point these things out. What I realized was, while I was selling the how, I was ignoring the thing that clients pay for, which was results. And what I found was, every time I was trying to sell hypnotherapy, I'm also building my competition. Because let's say, for example, as we know, most clients are going to do like a shop around. It's like they go grocery shopping. They want to find the cheapest product for their groceries, or they go to the specials, like the buy two, get one free type thing. So I realized this was happening a lot. And anytime I mentioned the word hypnotherapy, my clients were saying to me, well, if you do hypnotherapy for $100 an hour, I can go down the road and Joe Bloggs does it for $50 an hour. I'm just going to go see him. Because they were unaware, they thought that this was the same thing. They thought that hypnotherapy was hypnotherapy because I had no specialty. Okay, I forgot to talk about what I was a specialist in. I was only talking about the how. So what I started to realize was, for the clients that did quit, the ones that did come to see me, I started to look at the success with those clients, and I realized one very important thing. What stood out to me was not just the immediate problem that I was solving, but also the byproducts. The things that were occurring after the fact. And I started to look at what I was charging my clients for. They were quitting smoking at $100. That's not bad. But I also realized that their health was improving. I also realized by quitting smoking, I was potentially saving them between like $1,000 all the way up to $5,000 a month by cigarettes they didn't have to buy. Obviously, their risk of disease would lower. Their insomnia was decreasing. Their pride and self-worth was increasing. They became a better role model for the kids. And these were the constant reports that I got back from my clients. And why I took this as like, awesome, that's great, I'm really happy for you. I was looking back on my income where I was really, really struggling to pay my bills and stay alive and keep my business healthy. I started to think about, well, if my client's getting all those things for free, why wouldn't I charge for these things? Why am I not charging for these things? Like, why am I not charging for these additional things? Like, I'm giving my clients these things for free. If I'm saving my client $5,000 and they only realize this after the fact, $100 doesn't seem like a lot of money. So what if, instead of talking about the how and trying to sell hypnotherapy and coaching to people, what if I concentrated on the results? And I talked to my clients about the byproducts, the end result, the future results, all the things that would happen as a catalyst to working with me today. And I built up all of this value. I talked about the emotional saving, the financial saving, all the positive things would happen for them that they would pay for to go see another hypnotherapist to achieve those things. Why don't I point these things out as a result of not just quitting smoking, but all of these other incredible things are going to happen? And why don't I contrast my price to that and increase my price? So that's the experiment I went on. And that's when I really thought, I wonder how many other coaches and hypnotherapists are charging the bare minimum for these compliance services. Even my therapy mentor, using that very old traditional model, he was very traditional in the way his model was, even he was just doing the whole $100 an hour, $200 an hour. But I realized things were changing now. I realized that I had bigger goals in my business and I couldn't function based on this old traditional model. And I started to think about, I wonder if other coaches and hypnotherapists are just doing and charging the bare minimum for compliance services. And instead of just doing the compliance services, instead of thinking about all the things, that's the key word here, emotional, financial, that we can actually save our clients from. I'm going to repeat that because this is important. Instead of thinking about all the things, not just the current thing we're going to help them solve, but thinking about all of the things, the byproducts, emotionally and financially, that we can actually save our clients from in their current situation, but also well into their future. Why are we not charging for these things? Why are we giving these things away for free? And this really broke down everything I was taught in that traditional model and went against everything that I was taught But as I started to do this and evolve into this new model, literally everything changed for me, and it's what's changed for all of our students as well. And unfortunately, as you can imagine, no one was thinking like this, even now. Like, what are we, 20, 25 years, 30 years, 50 years in hypnotherapy and this thing that we call coaching and things like this, but the same academies, the same people, the same gurus are still teaching the model that they learned 30, 40, 50 years ago. But we know the world has changed, reality has changed, but why is everyone still stuck in this model? And it's this model, this traditional thing that everybody's stuck in, which is the catalyst for why most coaches and therapists, and I'm talking about in the high 90%, are struggling, okay? So even now, no one was thinking like this. But this became my entire model. This became my new valued price. This became my new presentation when I was showing people what I could do for them, not talking about how I was doing it, but showing them the end result. And it was the new way that I attracted higher paying clients. So remember, guys, the how doesn't matter. And this is what happened to the entire model. This was the evolution that it took. So remember, the first thing was I was trying to sell hypnotherapy and coaching. I tried to sell it in packages, sessions. I tried to give it a fancy name. I tried to just try and make this thing, this hypnotherapy thing, seem so unique. And I was selling it for like $100 a session or $100 for 2 sessions. But I was getting the price objections. I was getting the cheaper objections. I was getting the I have to ask my spouse objections. Will this work? Guarantee, all the normal things you guys are getting. So then I took the evolution of, obviously that wasn't working. I moved into talking about the stop smoking solution, the end result. I stopped talking about hypnotherapy. I stopped talking about the how and started to talk about results. And I drastically increased my prices. I was just testing this to see what happened. So now it was $500 and you'd probably see me for 1 or 2 sessions, but all the conversations I had with potential clients were about results. And what's funny is I got less objections. All of the objections I was getting when I was selling hypnotherapy were a laundry list. I'd spend hours talking about this stuff, trying to convince people, all for them to say no in the end anyway. When I stopped talking about the how, I started talking about results, I got less objections. So I noticed that it was starting to work, but it still wasn't good enough. A year or so later, I evolved. So I stopped using that model. And then I went into just purely results. And the way I talked about results wasn't just this is the immediate result. I started to make my clients aware of all the time and things and emotional and financial things that they have wasted in the past by keeping their problem. What their next 12 months is going to look like if they don't fix the problem with me today. So we call this past waste. And now we have present waste, like how in the next 12 months, how much things and emotion and financial things are you going to waste, but also making my clients aware of the future value. What's the future things, those byproducts that I'm going to give you as a result of working with me today? So what is the past? What's been wasted? How much time, effort, energy, and emotional things have been wasted? What's the current estimation of the next 12 months, client? If you don't work with me, this is what you're going to go into. This is what to be expected. This is about what you're about to experience and what you're about to pay for the next 12 months if you don't overcome your problem today. And here's the future estimation. This is what your next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years is going to look like by keeping your problem. And once I started to break down this as a presentation to my clients, by the time I slapped $1,500 on the end of it, it was an absolute no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer, no objections, because I was clearly educating my clients on what they've wasted, what their current situation, their present results going to look like, and what their future results going to look like if they do not work with me. Not if they don't do hypnotherapy, but if they don't quit smoking. And this is how it changed. Okay, it became results focused, past, present, and future value with past wasted, current estimation wasted, and the future estimation wasted. What are they wasting? What can we save our clients from? We're going to make our clients abundantly aware of this. So you may be thinking you're in the same position I was. You're still stuck at the selling the hypnotherapy model. You're stuck at selling coaching. You're still struggling with that $50 an hour, $100 an hour. And if you're getting a laundry list of objections, it's because you're using the wrong model. You're talking about all the wrong things and you're not educating your clients in the right way. So stuck at low prices with compliance services, if that's you, we need to change the model. If you find that you're helping anyone that comes along, we need to change the model. If you're stuck trying to convince people of the how, instead of talking about the results And dealing with clients who just wanted cheaper options, just like I was, it means your model has to change because there is no way to grow and scale your business based on the current model. If you're experiencing ceiling right now, like the ceiling of the amount of clients and the amount of income you can make, it's because that's all that model allows you to do. You can't push that model anymore because it's created a ceiling. To break through that ceiling, we have to bust through it with something new and rearrange everything that you do. So for years now, I've been teaching this new, what I call proactive model on value, price, presentation, and client acquisition to help build the fastest growing hypnotherapy and coaching businesses on the planet, bar none. And over these years, I've really accumulated what I call 9 basic core strategies that help us do this in an industry that until now has been following the broken traditional model. With still so much of the industry following this old model and wondering why they can't grow their business, we've accumulated 9 core strategies that go against this traditional model, but is the reason why our therapists and coaches have the fastest growing practices in the industry. So let's look at these 9 basic core strategies. Number 1, we implement something called our input process, order and output system and protocol setup for business infrastructure. We really focus on our niche solution offer price system for finding profitable niches. Number 3, we have something called our MOS service, our packaging, which is speed, less moving parts, less effort, less friction means less things. So basically what we're doing is we're giving our clients less of our time, but making more money. We're reverse engineering specialist offers to be unique in saturated niches. So if your offer is the same as everybody else, i.e. if you're talking about hypnotherapy and coaching, it's the same as everybody else, it's not going to stand out. It's going to be lost in a red ocean of every other therapist and coach is talking the same thing you are. You can't expect to win in that. Number 5, what we call our PCV, specialist pricing structure, and also what we call our monthly retainer structure and presentation. If you're working with like executive clients, professional clients, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figure business owners, we can do like a monthly retainer structure, not just the initial price. Number 6, what I'm going to show you guys today is what I call the future value pricing, the byproduct pricing and presentation. I'm going to show you guys how we do this with something called our future value deck. This, like I said, is going to probably piss off a lot of my students for showing you this, but I really want to show you guys this because this is the catalyst for your growth. It's called our future value deck. I'm going to show you this today. Number 7, we use an automated organic client attraction system and automated VA system. Number 8 is what we call our asymmetry tracking for long-term profits. Our last core strategy is productizing your service for scaling into new niches. So these are the 9 basic core strategies that help set up the businesses. But the one we're going to focus on today is number 6. Let's have a look at this future value deck. So I've taught this to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of coaching and hypnotherapy businesses to help them get away from the hourly session compliance to expert positioning. If there's one thing you guys can take away from this webinar is that the quicker you get away from the traditional model, the quicker your business is going to grow. And you're here because you want to make more money. You're here because you want to have a bigger impact in your business. If you're not here, or if you're here and you didn't want to make more money, you didn't want to work with more clients, you didn't want to have more resources and funds in your business to help support a lifestyle that you deserve as well, this webinar is not for you. Because right now I've talked about money, I've talked about getting more clients. If you're happy with the compliance services, don't watch the rest of this webinar because you're not going to like it, you're not going to follow it, it's not going to make sense to you because you still want to use that old traditional model. But for those who are here that are sick of that traditional model and you want to become known as the expert, you want to know how to position yourself, even if your niche and your market is very oversaturated, let me show you how we can do this. So look, I still talk to a lot of people, especially when they hear about this, that say, look, I'm too new for this. My clients won't pay this, Scott. How on earth are they going to pay $5,500 when I can't even get them to pay $50? But you've seen the results from our students. They're in the exact same niches as you guys. Isn't that weird? They're in the exact same niches, but you can't even get $50 to help that client, but they can get $5,500 up front paid in full. There must be something going on here. It shows that it works and it shows there is a way to do it. So what are you missing? So if you're thinking your clients won't pay this, or you're too afraid to ask for this, you don't like the sales thing, you don't want to do this stuff, I tell all these people, look, this won't be easy. To break away from the traditional model, it won't be easy, but it will be simple. As long as we start thinking in terms of saving our clients from, instead of just the immediate result. So instead of just thinking, I'm going to help you quit smoking, it's now we have to change that whole vector of your mindset and start thinking, what am I saving my clients from? now and into the future so they don't repeat what they did in the past. And look, anyone can do this, but you have to start thinking in these terms. So everyone talks about generalists and specialists and expert, but everyone has a different definition of this. So I just want to show you my definition of this so we're on the same page. So when I talk about generalist value, generalist pricing, and have a generalist business, what I mean is this, like compliance services, like quit smoking, weight loss, anxiety, mindset, just real basic push the button compliance services. Traditional niches, the ones that we're taught in our certifications, like use this script for stop smoking, use this strategy for mindset, use this for weight loss, like here's a pre-built strategy for a compliance niche, just follow this and you'll be able to charge $100 for that. Working with any client for anything, pricing on the traditional model, like the $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $150, if you buy 5 sessions, you get 2 free type thing, and also pricing just on the immediate results. Okay, so that's the generalist value. The switch that we have to make and what you need to make in your business, what I call the specialist value. So for this, we want to start to think about non-compliance services, unique niches inside of the compliance services that aren't regularly looked at by the traditional therapist. Non-traditional niches, very unique problems to very unique people. Pricing per outcome, result, future and long-term, and what I call the value, which is the PCF education, past, current and future education. Now, the way we're going to show this value and the way that we present ourselves and position ourselves as the specialist, as the go-to therapist or a coach, like the no-brainer option for our clients, regardless of our price. Remember that, regardless of our price, is by the future value deck I'm going to show you today. But we have to make the switch from the generalist traditional model into the specialist go-to therapist, the expert position therapist in the market, regardless of your niche, regardless of how expensive your price is. So how do we show this value? So guys, this slide right here is actually taken from my future value deck. And I was a bit in 2 minds if I'm going to show you this or not, because this is probably one of the key slides in our future value deck. Now, future value deck is between a 22-page and a 25-page presentation that we actually give to all of our students as part of their presentation to show, for lack of better words, the value and the extra price and why they're so expensive and some other things that the value deck does as well. But this is the way we want to start to think. We want to start to think of the estimated past, the current and the future situation. We have to make our clients aware of all the time, the things, the emotional things, the finances, all the negative things they have experienced, all the finances they have spent to try and solve that problem in the past. And we want to make our clients aware of their part. We call this past waste. Okay. Then what we want to do as part of our presentation is now bring up, look, I have a solution for you, but if you don't take this solution, this is what your next 12 months, here's an estimation of what the next 12 months, this is what you're going to be wasting if you continue to do what you do. But the thing we realize is about problems, and you talk to your clients about this, is that each year you hold on to your problem, it's going to get more expensive. You're going to try more things. You're going to spend more on medication. You're going to spend more on courses. You're going to spend more on trying to overcome this problem for yourself when you need a specialist therapist, someone like myself, to show you how to do this and help you break free from this. And lastly, and probably the most important part, is once you've solved that problem, this is the future. But if you don't solve this problem over the next 12 months, this is what it's going to look like. And here's what your future is going to look like. The next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, guys, you can stretch this all the way into the future. I've talked to clients about this 30 years into the future. And what you're doing is you're making your client abundantly aware of all of the negative things, the financial and the emotional things that they're going to experience, what they're going to overpay, and all the things they're going to lose by holding on to that problem. So it's one of the key slides in our future value deck. So we show value like this. How much has a client lost in the past by keeping their problem? And what is the value amount you are going to save them from, emotional and financial, now and well into the future? Another slide is now we have our price comparisons. Another important slide for our future value deck is now we have to show, what am I going to save you from? This is the direction you're going to. This is the future you're heading into, having and keeping this problem that's only going to get worse. If you work with me, this is what I'm going to save you from. And you want to make it abundantly clear, guys, from the emotional and also the financial standpoint, what you're going to save your clients from. And then you'll be able to compare, no matter how expensive your price is, it's going to be a no-brainer because we're saving our clients from. So saving, what is the total you are saving your client from? Your price compared to the savings financially and emotionally. This is how we justify higher prices, guys. And these are two very key slides in our future value deck. And this is the big reason why when you show these slides, or we show these slides to our clients, that they're absolutely dumbfounded. They had no idea it was this bad, and they were not prepared for how bad it's going to be. Then it becomes an instant no-brainer. If I can save my client over $100,000 in the next 10 years by all the cigarettes that he's going to buy, all the emotional things that he's about to experience, all the health problems he's about to experience, all the negative things that he's about to go through because he's been through it in the past and he's well on his way to going that into the future, and I compare that to a price of $1,500, $2,500, even $5,500, but I'm saving you just even the financial thing well over $100,000, becomes a no-brainer. That price comparison is key. And this becomes, like I said, that no-brainer for our clients to say yes for us. So also we have something called our recurring monthly retainer. So what we also teach our students to do is get away from the generalist niches and the generalist population and start to work with corporate clients, executive clients, business owners, lawyers, doctors. And what we can actually set up is what we call a recurring monthly retainer. So that client comes to see us to solve their initial problem, but you could also upsell them into like additional service beyond the immediate transformation. This could be like a support thing, implementation, additional therapy, new problems. And we can actually have our clients that have solved their initial problem now paying us in a monthly retainer between like $1,000 all the way up to about $3,000 per month to help them with other things. And they're contracted to pay this stuff because we've taken them through that process. Now you become like their therapist or a coach that they can rely on any time. And you're getting paid a highly monthly retaining fee where you might only have to talk to them once a month. But you've got to start to think about, you might think, well, Scott, it's all well and good to be able to save my client something financially, but how do I do it as an emotional cost? Well, guys, I'm here to tell you that sometimes the emotional cost will far outweigh the financial cost. So when you're thinking about showing and comparing the financial savings and the emotional savings that you're going to save this client from, you've got to start to think, what has this emotion, this negative problem, stopped them from doing, experiencing, or having? What is the emotional cost? What are the new emotional costs that are being created by keeping the problem? What will the future be like emotionally, having kept this problem, knowing that there is a solution to it? And that is key. That last one is key. You want to make your clients abundantly aware that, hey, I have a solution. Could you imagine going 5 years into the future, keeping this problem, knowing that I gave you the solution 5 years ago, and you've wasted more time, more emotions, you've experienced more negative things and more financial issues, and I still gave you that solution and you knew you could have had it 5 years? What's that going to be like? So it's just making your clients aware of the reality that they're going into. So here it comes down to, everyone asks me, well, Scott, what's the big reason why people don't buy? Okay, the one biggest reason people don't buy is because you're not usually using the future value deck. You're not educating your client on the future value. You're not educating your client on the proof, the reason why you're the go-to expert, what the other therapists and coaches do, why you're different, why you're differentiated, why your price is so expensive. But what we concentrate on is just the basic things with that old traditional model. The reason why people don't buy your services, guys, even if they're cheap services, is because they don't understand the how. They don't understand hypnotherapy. They don't understand coaching. They don't understand any of that stuff. But we spend all of our time trying to convince people of this. We spend all of our time doing our marketing convincing people of this. But we're talking about all the wrong things. They don't understand the lingo or our explanation. One big thing, they don't believe you. They go looking online and they see all your marketing is you talking about yourself or taking selfies, or there's one blog post every month, or there's one YouTube video every 6 months. So when they go, you present your price to them, and they go do a bit of research on you, they can't find anything about you being the expert. On the phone, you're saying, yeah, I'm the expert in this, this, and this, but I'm only going to charge you $100. Already there's a weird conflict. But they go researching and they can't find a thing about you. Also, they don't understand the value of your price. They don't understand why you're so expensive. They don't understand why they shouldn't go to Joe Blogs down the road because he's $50 cheaper. They think that every therapist or a coach offers compliant services and they shop around. They don't understand the tangible result. They see you as just another therapist, not a specialist. But our future value deck shows all of this in one 15 to 20 minute presentation. The future value deck shows them what you do, how you do it, how you're differentiated. It destroys all of their objections. It has concise value to their situation, past, current, and future. And also the future value deck shows the long-term benefit, the long-term future, and justifies and compares your price compared to everybody else, even when you're 50 to 100 times more expensive than everybody, why they should go with you. And that's the reason you're going to get the yes, because you've educated your client on exactly what you do. This is impossible to do over the phone. This is impossible to do on a phone call. We want to visually show our clients this. And here's a couple of other little slides. And I've blanked a lot of these out because they are so unique to our students. And it is the big reason why they're so successful. So I have to keep that part private, but you sort of see where I'm going here. We want to have a presentation, a reliable presentation that you can show your client that is concise to them. So it's an education-based presentation. The future value deck, like I said, is a 22 to 25 page presentation that takes them from start all the way to finish with your prices. It could be the monthly retaining prices. It could be the upsell, breaks down all the objections, shows them exactly the process, why they should go to you, why they should ignore everybody else, why you're the go-to expert, why other therapists will fail you. All of these things are educating your client on things they don't know about. So by the time they buy your services, they're highly educated as to why they paid so much money for you, and they're happy to do so because why? They understand. Remember, the reason why people are saying no to you now, even at $50 or $100, they just don't understand you. Okay, so we want to present something to them that is an educated-based presentation. Also, part of the future value deck is we want to be breaking down client objections. So if you look at any niche or any market, there are going to be key objections that if you don't overcome them in this presentation, it's always going to be objection, whether it's voiced or not, is going to be another reason why clients say no to you. You could think that you give an awesome strategy call, you talk to your client about all these wonderful things, but if they're not alerting you to their objections, these are going to be the reasons they say no to you. They're not going to tell you their objections. So what we like to do is bring up those objections, the most common objections in our market, and you learn these by being in your niche for such a long time and being the expert in what you do. As an expert, you should know these objections. And we want to destroy these objections, show them why they're false, and show them a new way to think so they understand that the objection they're holding on to is wrong, it's negative, and they need to think and act in these new ways, and you're going to be the person to show them how to do that. So we have to cover the key client objections to destroy those things before you even get close to giving your price. So the key here is to demonstrate value in the past, current, and future that is precise to every person you get on a strategy call, unique and personal to every potential client. It's nothing more than that. To transition from the generalist to the specialist is about learning how to demonstrate what you do, your value, what you're saving your clients from, the key objections, how to transition from the script into the future value deck into some sort of presentation which breaks down step by step in detail what they do. That's how we transition. It's nothing more than that. And it doesn't matter how unique you think your therapy is. If you've come up with your own style of therapy, fantastic, well done. But your clients don't care. It doesn't matter how unique your therapy is, what strategy you use to help your clients overcome their issue, what coaching or healing strategies that you use. Doesn't matter even what the name is. It doesn't matter who you were trained by or your knowledge on how healing works. It's can you demonstrate and educate the result for your clients effectively? Can you make them understand exactly what they're going to get? So remember, the how doesn't matter. All that matters is results. And the way we show these results is by bringing our client up to speed with their past waste, their present value, and also the future value. What are the things they're going to waste by going into the future and not working with you today? And can you compare the abundance of value and what you're going to save them and have a proper price comparison where your most expensive price in an industry that is working with the old traditional model seems so cheap to your client that it's a no-brainer and they pay you on the spot.
Hey everyone, Scott Jansen here. Thank you so much for checking out the webinar. I really do hope that you got a lot of great insights. You wrote a lot of notes and you can see the possibilities of changing from that generalist model where most people are going to be stuck and move into that highly paid expert. So if you want to take it a step further, I highly recommend joining our program, guys. This 100K coaching program, Hypnotherapist. As you can see, I touched on things like the sales script, future value deck, marketing yourself as an expert, positioning yourself as an expert, higher prices, all those things which are crucial. This program shows you how to do it step by step. So what I'm really saying here, guys, you can literally turn your brain off, and everything that you saw in that webinar plus a whole lot more is pretty much all done for you in this program. The testimonials you saw, the testimonials you'll see on this sales page right here, all the student interviews we've done have all come from this program right here. So I'll leave a link below, guys. Click on the link, read through this entire page. It gives you all the details that you need, everything that is covered. This is our premium program, guys. This is how we've turned hypnotherapists. Some have just been actually qualified into six-figure therapists in under 12 months. We've taught this program to thousands and thousands of therapists. And as you can see, we've got several thousand testimonials to show for it. So thank you for watching, guys. I do hope you got a lot from that. See you next time.